that's the reason why I think a traditional camera is better than an iPhone for vlogging, for that one reason. Savannah left this morning to go to a she went to a wedding, and I couldn't go because I had to stay back, and I have work that I have to do. And what that means basically is that I'm going to get work done, but also I'm going to watch all of the TV shows that she doesn't like to watch when she's here. So currently I'm going through I don't know if you can see it back there. I'm going through the show Band of Brothers again. If you ask any guy that's like interested in World War II or war stuff at all, they'll know what Band of Brothers is. I've been using my iPhone a lot more than I normally do for these videos. Normally I would just use it for like B-roll or for like pickup shots or anything else, but recently I've been using it more as a main camera, mostly just because with this microphone integrated with this iPhone, it's a really convenient, really tiny package. And I honestly thought about that got me down the trail of like, or starting to think about like, well, why don't I use my iPhone for everything? Like, why do I even have like this $7,000 A7S III with like a 12 to 24 G Master f2.8 lens? Like, that's an expensive, expensive, pretty decently sized like camera package when you compare it to it is heavy compared to this. And there's one reason why I choose to use a traditional camera setup over just an iPhone that gets me like 90% there. And well, I'm going to tell you about it in this video. There's actually going to be more than one thing, but there's going to be one that just influences my decision to choose the super fancy, expensive camera that's a little more inconvenient to take with me, and it's something that you don't really see until you actually like use or own a big expensive camera, because I didn't notice it until I owned one of those. I thought the iPhone was honestly just an amazing camera, which it is, but the biggest thing is going to be something called dynamic range, and it feels like the image just looks a little more open. It looks a little more less compressed compared to an iPhone. And you can really tell when you're sitting down to edit and you're sitting down to color grade. That's when you can really tell just how much more you can push the footage from a big Sony camera or a big like cinema-esque camera versus like something on your iPhone. The iPhone's incredible and it's really, really convenient, and for this kind of stuff I love using it, but also at the same time there's trade-offs there. And I think the biggest one for me, like I said, is a dynamic range. One of the massive benefits for the iPhone versus like carrying a big camera around is you fly under the radar with the iPhone until you set it down and you start talking to yourself. But until then, you're just like a normal person. Versus the other camera, it's like everybody just looks at you all the time, which is something to be considered. I also think with a traditional camera, the footage you have more like it's more forgiving. Typically with iPhone, you have to like get the footage right and set it up for success. Otherwise, it's just not going to look right. Versus with a big Sony camera, you typically have you just have more play with it. And honestly, I think that's the reason why I think a traditional camera is better than an iPhone for vlogging, for that one reason. But like everything, it just comes down to like what you actually need the camera for and what specific shoot or what specific situation you're going to be in. If you're going on a walk like this, then this combo with the DJI mics and the iPhone is incredible. And honestly, I think it gets me 90% there, which is good enough for what I need it for. But if I want the best possible quality that I possibly can get with the most flexibility in post after the fact, then I'm gonna take my Sony. But if I know what the conditions are gonna be, or like I can predict what the environment is gonna be like, and I think the iPhone is gonna be like totally adequate, then I'm gonna opt out for that. the Sony is really good for like unpredictable environments, is basically what I'm trying to say. Or if you're in this area where you're not sure like if it's actually a good idea or safe to bring your big camera, because that's happened to me a couple times, and I'm slowly learning through having just interactions with people. This is a lot more low profile, like I said before. Okay, I didn't actually mean to come all the way down here, but it's not super. The weather's like kind of cool today, so I'm trying to take advantage of it. And honestly, Savannah's not here, and naturally, whenever she's not here, I typically go on more walks. Probably my favorite part of this whole area is, so that's the courthouse behind me, and then behind you is a bunch of like bail bonds places. This is my favorite bail bonds place. Grumpy's bail bonds. I mean, I appreciate whoever decided to name it that. I like their humor. All right, I think it's starting to rain, so I think I'm gonna start heading back. Back home. I'm gonna go a different way, just because why not? And there's less traffic. There's really two ways to get downtown from our house. There's the Greenway, which is what I just walked on, and then there's like going through the park and like more residential areas, which I'm about to go on. This weather feels incredible though.